On your side, this is News 12, First at 5.
A new tax in Aiken could have you paying a penny more, but leaders say it could also mean big things for the city's future. But first, a big announcement out of Washington about U.S. troops in Afghanistan.
The president says he's pulling out fewer soldiers than originally planned. Good evening, I'm Richard Rogers.
And I'm Meredith Anderson. A big announcement just a couple of hours ago from President Barack Obama after his meeting with Afghan President Ghani at the White House.
The president says the U.S. will keep just under 10,000 troops in Afghanistan through the end of 2015. That's at the request of President Ghani. The announcement, a change from the Obama administration's original plan to scale back U.S. troops in Afghanistan to about 5,500 by the end of the year. Before the meeting, U.S. officials suspected President Ghani would ask for a slowdown in the withdrawal of U.S. troops.
President Obama says he's decided to keep more troops in the country because Afghanistan is still a very dangerous place.
President Ghani has requested some flexibility on our drawdown timelines. I've consulted with General Campbell in Afghanistan, my national security team, and I've decided that we will maintain our current posture of 9,800 troops through the end of this year.
Thank you for your commitment to submit a bill to Congress for support of our security forces to 2017. There's much work that lies ahead of us.
President Ghani's visit was the first official one since his election in 2014.
It's been 3 months since the U.S. officially ended its combat mission in Afghanistan, but again, 9,800 troops will be staying there at least until 2016.
Here on the home front, a mix of sun and clouds across Georgia, Carolina. And at this hour, we're looking at skies that are mostly cloudy. You can see that as we look off toward the west, downtown Augusta here. But we're dry, and you can see the green on the trees. The leaves starting to green up across the area. Take a look at it as far as the numbers go. 70s in most spots. How about 77 Washington at this hour? 73 to around 72 in Aiken to 71 in Sylvania. And we're all dry, and we'll drop off. 67 at 8. We're down to 60 under mostly cloudy sky by midnight. Looks like a cold snap's on the way. Details on that coming up in just a bit.
Shane, thanks. It could cost you a little more to grab a bite to eat in Aiken County. Aiken City Council considering a new hospitality tax on certain foods. News 12's Miranda Parnell tells us more about how council plans on putting your pennies to work.
Ashley Diedrich is a USC Aiken student who spent her fair share of time in some of downtown Aiken's restaurants. She says talk of a potential hospitality tax might not be so bad.
I think it could only bring better things to Aiken, you know. It'll add things for the community to do. Council members say it would be 1 penny on the dollar for all prepared foods and drinks. They're calling it the hospitality tax. I would say, it's a good cause, you know, and a penny can make a difference. Council members would use the money to fix up the city's infrastructure to make Aiken more attractive and bring in more business. Something Diedrich says is crucial to small business in Aiken. It's extremely important, you know, because they only have the people that know about it, and with extra advertisement, they can have more people coming through, extra tourism. The city's accommodation tax is the closest thing to it, but that mainly focuses on promoting tourism in Aiken. Council members say the new hospitality tax could be used the same way, but with fewer limitations. So it would help a community. It would help a community out, and it's only a penny, you know, and a penny can make a difference. And if that's what it takes, then it shouldn't be an issue. Now, city council members say the hospitality tax could also be used towards building public gathering placing areas similar to the one at Whitney Field Pavilion. Now, the tax plan will be presented again on April 13th at their meeting, and they're expecting a big turnout to debate it.
Thanks for that, Miranda. Investigators say a suspect threw drugs and a gun on I-20 this morning during a high-speed chase. It all started in Columbia County. It ended in Aiken County. Now, Patrick Buxton is facing multiple traffic charges and drug charges. He was arrested after officers say his car ran off the road. An update now about a gun scare on Payne College's campus last night. The school says they still have not found a gun or any weapons after reports of a student with one on campus. They say all of this started with an argument on the basketball court. The campus was put on lockdown around 8:30 or so. They searched a suspect and a dorm room, they say, but they did not find anything. That lockdown was lifted just before 10 p.m.
A bill legalizing medical marijuana in Georgia for some diseases is moving forward. Georgia senators approved a compromise bill that allows people with illnesses like seizures, cancer, and MS to use cannabis oil. The measure got rid of coverage for fibromyalgia. Now the bill heads back to the House for a vote there. All 3 senators from this area voted yes today. Coming up on News 12 at 6 o'clock, how soon this compromise could become law. Continuing coverage now, the Department of Veterans Affairs says it's relaxing a rule that makes it hard for veterans in rural areas to get access to care. Vets need to prove they live at least 40 miles from a VA health site to get treatment from a private doctor instead. But now the VA says it'll measure the 40-mile trip by driving miles rather than using a straight line.
South Carolina State University is making its budget request to senators today. This just 1 week after an audit found the school could owe more than $23 million by this summer. The House's budget plan includes $4 million to pay off some of SC State's bills, but the school is supposed to pay back a $6 million loan to the state by June 30th.
It seems to be the end of the line for an historic house in Harlem. At least that's how City Manager Jason Risner sees it. Last night, Harlem City Council voted to demolish the old Wilson house. They plan to tear it down within 4 to 6 weeks to start building a new library there. The Historic Preservation Group had been fighting to save the house.
We're on your side with a warning about your water. The city of Grovetown is issuing a boil watery advisory for the Whiskey Road, Charlotte Avenue, Wrightsboro Road areas. Officials say a water main repair is causing the water pressure to drop now to dangerously low levels.
Parents, you know, kids can keep you really busy, but imagine 4 babies all at once. That's exactly what some parents have in store after delivering quadruplets here over the weekend. News 12's Lindsay Tooman sat down with the dad and the newborns to see how this family is doing.
Well, Richard, they are tired, as you can imagine, but Matt Kirkland says he can't imagine being any happier. The Kirkland family already have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old at home, and we're going for 1 more. The family says they were in for quite the surprise when they heard 4 heartbeats instead of 1. Although it was a shock, the father, Matt, says he can't wait to bring his children home.
So when she told me about the multiples, I was just like, well, when they're here, the same amount of love I guess will appear, and it has.
The babies will be in the hospital for 7 to 9 weeks, but their dad says everyone is happy and healthy.
So the babies are in the hospital a little while longer. So how's everybody really doing?
They're tired. I mean, they really are, but it does seem everybody's doing really well. The babies are so cute and little, but healthy.
And you know that they are about to change a lot of diapers. Okay, we looked it up. Parents of quadruplets will change close to 30,000 diapers before the kids are potty trained. Just wrap your brain around number 1, right, all of that work, and number 2, the expense. They are going to need truckloads of diapers.
I can't even imagine. They say that they're getting ready, and Matt, I spoke to him, he said he feels like he's ready, but he won't really know until they're home. But coming up on 6 o'clock, we'll hear more about how it's going for them so far.
Did you notice Matt had a bit of a glazed look in his eye?
He did seem tired, and they also have been having to drive quite a bit, so.
Okay.
They're tired,
and not to mention 2 at home.
Yes. 6
Right.
kids.
Wow.
And 4 babies.
There you go. Good times. Lindsay, thanks a lot. An amazing rescue caught on camera. We see it all as a Georgia police officer runs into a burning home to save a child.
Plus a deadly plane crash in France. Now the search is on for the 150 victims and any wreckage to help investigators piece together what exactly happened.
And our weather headlines, we've got a chance for rain returning for the area. Warming up for now because we have cold air coming back. We got the details straight ahead.
And my grandbaby.
Where's the grandbaby?
First bedroom.
Okay, move.
Around to the back, to your left.
A first-person perspective from a police officer in Griffin, Georgia, who rescues a child from a burning home, all captured on the officer's body camera as he runs inside. The 14-year-old police veteran and father struggles to breathe as he searches for the child. After a lot of searching, he finally finds him in a bedroom.
She did give me a hug and a kiss on the cheek. You know, that made me feel good, but it makes it all worth it doing this job when you have something like this happen.
As for Sergeant Hudson, it's all part of the job. He was on to the next call right after that child was pulled to safety.
A lot of prayer and answer.
Right.
Georgia soldiers are welcomed home with a big celebration. We hear from one of them about their experience fighting Ebola in West Africa.
Plus an investigation into a plane crash in France that may have killed 150 people. What search crews have found so far at this crash site.
And as we head to break, a look at how traffic is moving on Walton Way at 15th Street, Augusta's medical district. The view from one of our many live eye cameras.
I'm News 12's Jerome Collins. You may ask, what's in a name? Well, for one woman, a lot after she says the DMV won't issue her a driver's license because of a change she made more than 40 years ago.
We are learning about new investigations that one commissioner says could turn out to be a big payout for Augusta taxpayers. News 12's George Lopez breaks down what some are saying about two county departments.
It's a situation that could cost Augusta some big bucks.
Well, I can't say very much, but I do know there's supposed to be a couple of investigations going on with the employees.
We won't name who the city is looking into yet, but in a response to our open records request, Augusta's law department confirms investigations at the environmental services and Parks, Recs, and Facilities departments.
I have people calling me all the time. They say they're being discriminated against, people saying they're being mistreated, people calling about jobs.
Sources familiar with the investigation say similar complaints are being made about each department under the microscope right now. Let's start off at Parks, Recs, and Facilities.
Something about some black monkey or something.
Co-workers within the department being investigated say that's not the only issue they were questioned about after they turned in a complaint to the county's EEO office or Equal Employment Office in January.
Do I ever smell alcohol on him? I say yes. And not only him, it's other employees.
And as for allegations at Environmental Services, folks on the inside tell us it has to do with hiring a less qualified white applicant over a more qualified African-American one.
Oh, naturally. I mean, if you do an unfair practice, that can cause legal ramification for the commission or for the city.
And by Commissioner Williams' count, in the last year, allegations that were found to be true have already cost the city $100,000. In Augusta, George Lopez, News 12.
Coming up on News 12 at 6 o'clock, a closer look at how much the city paid out in settlements over the last year.
It is a mystery after a German jetliner carrying 150 people falls out of the sky in a remote section of the French Alps. And right now, they don't have a lot of clues about what caused this crash. French aviation officials say the pilots did not send out any distress call, but did lose radio contact with their control tower. As for now, investigators are treating this crash as an accident.
We have to investigate properly with all the professionals what went wrong.
The plane was heading from Barcelona, Spain to Dusseldorf, Germany. Investigators say there were clouds in the area, but weather did not seem to be a factor. They've already discovered a black box there at the crash site. They've recovered that. No word on any other data or the cockpit voice recorder. All 150 passengers are presumed dead in this. French officials have called off the search for victims for now because it's gotten dark there.
Georgia soldiers welcome home after helping out in West Africa in the fight against Ebola. They returned to Fort Benning after 3 weeks of quarantine at a facility in West Virginia.
We are proud that our unit was able to participate in this very good cause. I think the Liberian people are very happy that we're there.
Here at home, at least 5 of 20 soldiers are back now at Fort Gordon after traveling to West Africa to help contain Ebola. The Department of Defense says 20 soldiers have finished their work and are heading home in small groups.
A college fraternity at the center of gang rape allegations no longer being investigated, but now they're considering legal action.
Plus, the city wants to fight childhood obesity. What kind of rules they're putting in place now at daycares.
As we head for a break, here's a live look at traffic along I-20, Grovetown. The view from our live eye camera network today.
Coming up on News 12 at 6 o'clock, here where Columbia County's code enforcement says noise violations are subjective.
It is a controversy at the University of Virginia, sparking campus-wide protest. But Charlottesville police say they don't have enough evidence to move forward with gang rape allegations printed in Rolling Stone magazine. Now the fraternity at the center of it all is considering legal action. People are worried this negative publicity will keep sexual assault victims from coming forward.
Instead of actually making people who have been hurt by sexual assault feel more willing to speak out, it's kind of made people more likely to doubt them.
The fraternity is asking for a full retraction from Rolling Stone, and in a statement, they hinted at a possible lawsuit.
Officials say a U.S.-led force is flying over the ISIS-held city of Tikrit now to see how things are going there. They're also offering intelligence to help Iraqi forces trying to retake that city. The source says the support started Saturday after Iraqi forces asked for help. Officials would not comment if the help includes airstrikes.
Instead of doing the questioning, the Secret Service is in the hot seat now. Lawmakers are grilling the Secret Service director on Capitol Hill today, and for the first time ever, they're releasing surveillance video of a government vehicle driving through a secured area at the White House and then running into a barrier. 2 senior agents are accused of drinking and driving.
One city is trying to cut childhood obesity by cutting the amount of juice served up at daycares. New York City's Board of Health introducing new rules on how much juice and at what age children can drink it. It says children must be at least 2 years old before they can have it, and they're allowed only 4 ounces a day of 100% juice.
Traffic alert now that's going to stick around for a while. City crews started work today on repairing and replacing about 280 manhole covers downtown. Now, the roads affected include Reynolds, Broad, Ellis, Green, Walker, Campbell, 7th, and Jones. It is going to take about a year and a half to get all of this work done.
One couple doesn't mind a little bit of dirt, even on their wedding day. We're going to show you a bride and groom who take marriage to a whole new height.
And as we head to break, we're going to take a look at how traffic is moving along Wheeler Road near I-20. This is the view from one of our many live eye cameras.
Determining how loud is too loud. Well, that depends on who you ask.
And Richard, even though decibel meters can help, Columbia County says it doesn't have a set number. Instead, each situation depends on who's involved. Why that could be bad business for one man's business. Plus, all she wants is a South Carolina driver's license. Sounds pretty simple. Wrong. That's why she called 12 on your side. What happened when we went to work? It's all ahead right here, new at 6 o'clock on News 12. Shane?
All right, take a look at it weather-wise for us. A little bit of a warming trend at least through Thursday. Mid-70s to lower 80s by Thursday. Then you see what happens over the weekend. A little colder air gets in here. 30s towards Saturday and Sunday morning.
Ooh, that's going to hurt. Okay, talk about a unique wedding. Check this out. An Arizona bride and groom and their wedding party walked a trail near Phoenix completely dressed in their wedding dress and tux.
Not only that, they did it after rappelling onto that trail. A very active couple. Hopefully their wedding party is just as active as well. Remember, guys, those tuxes, they're rentals. Take it easy. No scuff marks. Wow, that's a remote location. Where I guess it took a chopper to get this shot.
I guess so.
Probably a short guest list, you'd imagine.
Yeah. Count me in. Let's hike. The bride's wearing shorts.
She looks a little out of breath there. I know. Maybe. Whatever.
Well, good for them.
We do want to take another look at Wheeler Road at I-20. You can see some major backups there.
Yeah, it looks like it. I-20 is right here in the foreground, but that backup stretches down the street towards the Bobby Jones Expressway there in the distance. So if you can, avoid the Wheeler Road exit right there at Bobby Jones, or right there at I-20, between I-20 and the Bobby Jones Expressway.
I mean, cars are just creeping. And
miserable.
It's been like that for at least the last 5 minutes that we're aware of. Again, we don't know the cause, but trying to give you the heads up once we noticed it on one of our live eye cameras. You definitely don't want to be sitting in that parking lot.
That's a standstill. If you can avoid that, please do. And that'll do it for News 12 First at 5. Inside Edition's up next.
Then be sure to join us for News 12 at 6 o'clock. Have a great night.